Can you hear that music? You can't hear any music. I don't know how to make it so you can hear it.
Do you have do you have a menu option that says share sound
In Zoom or somewhere else?
in Zoom?
Um, in video settings, would it be?
Um, if I look at the yeah, it could be there. If I look at my own menu, I don't see a way to do it. Let me. Oh, in order to share sound, you need to share your screen.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me do it for a moment
Okay.
because it's nice.
And now you should have a more menu item.
Can you hear it or not?
No. Um, with your screen shared now, do you have more menu items?
Um,
Is there a more?
no. Oops.
It would still be in your Zoom controls if you can see them.
No. No, don't worry. I'll have to figure it out sometime when I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
If you want to drop the link into the Facebook chat, then I can listen to it
Wait,
after.
sorry for a sec. Sorry, some YouTube video came on saying something, some ad. Sorry. That was funny. Sorry, go. If I want to share the link.
If you want to put it in the Facebook chat, then I can be sure to listen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it'd
have
be
to
like.
figure out how to do it because it'd be really nice to play that music like at the start.
Mhm.
It's just like Arana Chala Shiva music. It's nice.
Ah, we do play. Oh, my lighting looks like a horror movie. Let me get on here. We do we do play music from Spotify before Hanuman Satsang, but
Mm,
um, yeah. So what I can say is first I share my screen, and then
mm,
there's a menu saying more, or a menu option, and then I
mm.
can go in there and choose to share sound.
Okay, I'll
And
have to.
and then what I know is that the instant I stop sharing my desktop, the shared sound goes away.
Okay, I'll look into it. I just haven't got the patience to do it. Like immediately, it'll take me. I didn't see a thing that said more, but maybe it's there.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'll look at it out later. So hello.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Mm-hmm.
So I think there's been a little bit of a struggle with you and I. Yeah? Like seeing them as separate and different. And the way that sort of showed up for me this week is some stilted language in reaching out to schedule today's get together.
Okay.
Just and it's not like yeah, I'm glad we can
Really?
both laugh now. Yeah,
Well, like, were
and
you writing me a message and I didn't understand what you were saying? Is it?
well, it was sort of like I tried to exclude the word you and the word I, and
Ah.
there was, and so I think now there. Thank you for helping me laugh at it. But I think now the reflection is that there was just it is a reflection of some internal confusion, or I'm
Okay.
still holding the separation and yet
Ah,
pretending not to,
yeah.
and that's why it would come out a little bit funny.
Yeah. I didn't even notice. I didn't notice anything. So I don't know. Uh,
Okay.
so what's the internal confusion?
How to use the words you and I without actually, it's like pretending there's a difference between us,
Yeah.
and there's like the reflection is that understanding just
Oh, yeah.
isn't really there. It's not so deep.
Yeah. I like Byron Katie uses all them words real interchangeably. And I think she explains like that they don't really have a meaning for her.
Okay.
Like whether it's you or I or he or she or we. It's like, and
Okay.
she'll just change them all the time. Like in even if she's talking about herself, sometimes she'll say I, but sometimes she won't.
Okay.
But like I don't mind. I think like the most normal usage of the words is fine. Like, like I think everyone knows, like, really. So we know there's no difference between like you and I or I and you, but like still you kind of need language.
Mm,
No, I don't know where the confusion could come really.
uh, yeah, it's a matter of perhaps looking and seeing a bit more, a bit better.
Yeah. I don't know, like I don't know how, if you have a particular thing you could say, then I could try to make it clarify. I don't know. We
Yeah.
could look at it
Well, I
together.
mean, it was all about in trying to invite, to set up today's meeting. It was all about trying,
Let me
for
see what
me, Steve, to invite you, Amba,
I
to get together.
thought it was pretty straightforward. Let me see what
Yeah.
it says.
Okay.
Maybe I'll.
So there was a little bit of judgment where months ago the unworthy one would have jumped in and said, "Oh no, that was terrible, you idiot," right? But now it's more like just a reflection, like, oh, that came out a little stilted.
Oh yeah. I don't know, I don't see anything strange. No.
Okay.
Might have just been like a, yeah, just like a secondary layer of thought coming in,
Yeah.
trying to get you down.
Yeah. There you go.
That's
There you
what
go.
mine does, isn't it?
Very, very common during the work week too. It was definitely during work hours I was reaching out. It's been a little distracted lately.
Yeah. Well, I can say that you communicated very clearly
Okay.
from this side.
Well, I mean, we're here, eh?
Yeah. That's all I know. I understood what you meant and seemed
Okay.
pretty straightforward. So,
So
what chapter are we on?
we're on chapter 36, and I have us almost done at verse right around verse 30, and I think I've backed us up a little bit from last week because there's a lot of repetition coming. So this
Mm-hmm.
is verse 30 kind of gets us ready for all the repetition that follows, and I wonder if
Mm-hmm.
there isn't some learning there to absorb. May I begin?
Please do.
Okay, so on verse 30, if you are of the constant I am Brahman conviction or attitude, that I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all the creeping ideas of difference that the world, individuals, and the Supreme, and you, I, and this are each separate, will disappear. If the idea of differences is removed, as aforesaid, the knowledge of the perfectly full Supreme Brahman shall arise, and one can attain the non dual state of liberation, of being established as the undivided Absolute. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, desire and anger will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, greed and infatuation will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, arrogance and jealousy will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, conceit and pride will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, the defects of the mind will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, great sins will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, the sorrows of the mind will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, great fears will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. We're just erasing and erasing and erasing.
Mm-hmm.
By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, sacred rivers and charitable acts will entirely vanish. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, deities and service to them will all come to naught. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, meditation and worship will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, japa, the repetition of a mantra, and tapas, austerity, intense practices, will all be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, mantras and tantra rituals will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, karma and the consequences connected with it will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, the Vedas and scriptures will all be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, mental delusion will be entirely effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all merits will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all manifest worlds will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all pairs of opposites will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all the world will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all other existence will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all other manifestations will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all other happiness will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all other connections will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction, all delusion and infatuation will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all mental knots will be brought to naught. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all mental and physical afflictions will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all distortions will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, wakefulness and other states will be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, the originless ignorance will be destroyed. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, the worldly birth and death cycle and all bondages will be destroyed. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, existence and non-existence will be entirely destroyed. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, one can, without wavering, attain the undivided knowledge. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, all the originless sorrow can be effaced. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, undivided bliss can be attained uninterruptedly. There's no doubt of this. By the I am Brahman conviction or attitude, undivided liberation can be attained. There's not an atom of doubt of this.
I love that, the originless sorrow. It's like it didn't originate anywhere. Then it's like it didn't really originate at all. Yeah, it still
Mm.
doesn't. Yeah, originless sorrow.
It's almost like Ribhu's trying to list everything that can come up,
Yeah.
anything that appears.
Hmm.
Erased.
And I think we get that message even from if our minds could come up with something else. It's like if you're after hearing that many things listed, it's like you just kind of know that that goes in there as well. Whatever it is, whatever it is, it'll be effaced and erased and brought to naught.
Brought to naught. I thought you might like the rhyme.
I do. Brought to naught by the conviction that I am Brahman.
Repetition used to be really challenging
Hmm.
a dozen or maybe 20 chapters ago.
Yeah.
But now it's
Hmm.
gorgeous.
You can start to enjoy it.
Mm. Um, Nome used the word nectarine
Mm-hmm.
to represent something really sweet.
Oh, okay.
Your nectarine presence.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nectarine, because usually people use the word nectar. Like nectar. It's like the sweetness that comes out of a flower, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he turned it into like nectarine. It's like more personal. Like he probably enjoys nectarines or something. It's like nectar. Oh, nectarine. Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. Okay. What verse are we on? Will I read it first?
40. And I read us to the end of the repetitive pieces.
Okay.
So Ribhu's starting to summarize and make the point again, I think.
Okay. Did you say we're on 40 now?
Mm. Yeah.
Hence, ever pauselessly practice the I am Brahman conviction, thereby relinquishing all ideas of difference, and be of the nature of the undivided Brahman. There is not an atom of doubt in what has been said. I declare this in the name of the exalted Shiva. This is the meaning expounded by the scriptures. What is expounded by our Lord is also the same. Non-self, apart from the self, never exists. Not an atom of it, not an atom of it, not an atom of it. There is no Brahman apart from the self. There is no self apart from that Brahman. The self is the undivided Supreme Brahman. The undivided Supreme Brahman is the self. Attain the knowledge that I, the self, am Brahman, and thereby become the undivided Supreme Brahman. Conquer the mind by the pure conviction, cultivated daily, that there is not an atom of the world and such, apart from the all-perfect fullness of Brahman, that all is the undivided Brahman, and that is myself, and I am that. And attaining the completely definite, undivided, supreme knowledge, become yourself the Supreme Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. Son, for the benefit of all, I have explained to you this definition of the undivided Absolute as it was expounded to me by the one supreme, perfectly full reality, rising as the beautiful form of Shiva. Those who have listened to and understood steadfastly in their minds This blemishless truth, as explained, will become of the nature of the perfectly full Supreme Brahman. Because of the tendencies of immemorial times, the sense of duality persists again and again in the hearts of those who are ignorant and bereft of the grace of the Supreme Shiva, and all is not seen as Brahman, even if they constantly study the Vedas and are instructed that all is Brahman. Noble one, therefore all seekers after liberation should seek the grace of the undivided Supreme Brahman. By wearing the insignia of Shiva, that is, the pure ashes and garlands of Rudraksha seeds, and by duly performing the daily Shiva worship to the spotless great Linga, and by meditation on the Supreme Shiva, the blemishless and the all-pervasive with nothing apart, the grace of the Supreme Shiva conferring equanimity will flow, and all will be seen as Brahman. The worthy sage Sutta discoursed to the assembled sages of pure heart what the omniscient Skanda in his unbounded grace told the eager inquirer Jagi Shavya, which is the explanation just declared as told to Nadaga by the sage Ribhu, in the same way as expounded to him, Ribhu, by the Lord Ishvara, rising as the divine auspicious form. It is the infinite form of our spotless Lord in a state of joyous dance on the divine stage that proclaims, by the conviction of identity, that whatever thing there is, wherever, is all the one supreme, and that supreme I am. All the delusions of the blemished mind can be conquered, and by such knowledge immaculate liberation can be attained. It's very joyous, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Because you're not you and I'm not me. We're just
Mm,
appearing as divine auspicious forms. Appearing.
mm,
We're just appearing.
appearing. Well, you're not you, but you are you. But you're not. You're not Steve. But yeah, you are Steve. But you're also Amba. I love the way it said this. It said, it's like dance on the divine stage. This is
Mm.
the divine stage.
Ah.
It's like you could say that you're not that body, but like it's not really true because you are that body, but you're just not only that body. You're not that body. It's like that's your like temporary, not just that body, but everything that, like you said, appearing. Everything that's appearing is you, is
Mm.
an aspect of you. But it's just like that's just the changeable aspect. It's still you because everything is Brahman, so it has to be you. There's nothing that isn't. There's nothing that isn't you.
The ability to identify is it's just mind blowing, right? So if
Mm,
identity goes wrong, it's sort of believe in
yeah,
believe in something apparently out there is real.
yeah,
But that same identity mechanism, I am that, I'm
yeah.
consciousness.
Can save us in a way. It's like the salvation. It's like to have that conviction because it's kind of in the mind as well. It's like you could say it's, I don't know, well, you could say it's like the higher mind if you say that. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like cleaning your mind. And then just like to recognize that, then you're kind of seeing more truly in a way. But somehow that's only even that is like somehow it's it's needed. It's needed to, but it's still for our mind, like in a way that doesn't exist at all.
Mm. It's just this, what's coming here is that it's very delicious call. It's a calling, a
Mm,
call to awareness, and it
yeah,
seems like the calling itself is, I like to think of it as grace, because then the subject object kind of falls away.
yeah.
Mm.
It is grace because we can't, like, well, of course you can't do it by yourself because there is no by yourself. But like we believe ourselves to be like separate, a separate thing, a separate individual entity or something, entity, identity. So of course that imagined thing can't do anything by itself. So I like that word grace, because grace is like I feel like it means like God is doing it.
Mm.
So like to recognize that God is doing everything. You're recognizing that like everything is grace. So any kind of, light that comes in your mind, or like clarity, or like the ability to see clearly, or the ability, even like these words appear to us, even the fact that we have this book in our hands, like what great grace is that for anyone who comes across that type of teaching. Mhm.
Mm.
But everything is not just that, like everything is grace. So, and of course, like to recognize that is grace only. It's like grace is doing it. Like that one, where it's like in the divine stage. I like that. It is the infinite form of our spotless Lord in a state of joyous dance on the divine stage. It's kind of like a big long sentence, but it's a really joyful sentence. In a state of joyous dance on the divine stage. So that's this is like a state of joyous dance on the divine stage. It's like us. It's us, it's him.
Mm.
I love that. I like that last part. I like that all. By the conviction of identity that whatever thing there is, that's like what we were saying a minute ago, like whatever appears, whatever thing there is, wherever, is all the one supreme, and that supreme I am.
Mm.
All the delusions of the blemished mind can be conquered.
Mm. This sense of I am, I mean, it's not very far away, is it?
No, not very far away at all. No distance.
Mm.
The thing is, it's never any distance. And I don't think anyone ever believes it's any distance either. But the problem is like that there's like other ideas believed. It's like I am. So you feel I am, but then it's like I am this body. Like we add ideas to it. Like it's like I only exist because this body appears. Like this body is here, and that's the only reason I exist. Because I am this body. Then it's like that becomes very like we become very grounded in that idea very quickly, I think. I don't know how quick, but pretty quick. Maybe like a month or 2 months, 3 months, 3 months max, I'd say.
Mm.
Like a small child, like they They have the sense of like, I am this body.
So does it make, is it useful? Is it not useful? Is it useful or not useful to flip it round and say the body appears in me?
Yeah, hugely
Mm,
useful.
mm,
I mean, that's the whole thing.
mm,
That's the whole thing. Like that's the whole thing. What the saying is like, I am Brahman. So it's like instead of always saying like I am a body and I am this and that and this and that and everything that appears, we're attaching all ideas onto ourselves. So I'm this kind of person. First of all, I'm a person, which means I'm a body with like a name and a form, and then like this person is this and this and this. So then when you recognize that like I'm none of those things and that's appearing in me, that's like huge thing. And then when you recognize that the I am is like it's actually the presence of something that isn't present. Yeah, it is present. that's like that's like the whole teaching. Any teaching, any good teaching is pointing to that, isn't it? So yeah, of course, it's useful, very useful. We really don't need to worry about anything or know anything, work anything out.
I love the relief that comes with really letting that in. That's beautiful.
Yeah, even if there seems to be a problem, Grace will look after
Mm.
it. Grace, God, Brahman, whatever, life. It's like everything is just appearing, seeming to appear.
Mm.
And then it just becomes a problem when we kind of attach onto it, or we somehow let it stick to us. Obviously, nothing can stick to us really because there's nothing to stick to. But I can see him. It's like we take that first idea, like I am the body, mind, and then it sticks to that. So if you believe you're that, then other things can stick to it,
Mm.
seemingly stick to it. Like the mind is being conquered by itself, not by itself, but like I mean by grace or by life. When we don't, you don't even have to really try to do anything. It's like instead of you don't. We were saying that before, weren't we? I don't know if I was saying it to you. That
That's the
Ananta
last week or
says,
two, yeah.
yeah, like Ananta doesn't say let things go. He says like don't pick things up.
Yeah.
So in the same way, it's like our minds are being conquered just by not picking things up. So you're just like remaining as the being they are and not. Doesn't mean you can't. Like sometimes I think it can sound like, to not engage in the world, but like it's not like that. Like you can totally engage fully in the world. It's more like just like an inward kind of relationship, like our way of relating to life and to everything that appears. So
Mm.
if you're recognizing that everything is just a temporary divine appearance, then you can just like enjoy it, enjoy it, and that's it. Just like watching a play or something. You can sit and watch a play. You can be like, wow, and you can totally enjoy it. Yeah, but like nothing in you wants it to go on forever, or it wants to hold it or even change it in any way. It's just like you're just enjoying it as it's like it's unfolding. You're watching a play. So that's actually what's happening. So even if there seems to be some kinds of, like that says, blemishes in the mind, even if there seems to be some blemishes in the mind, we don't have to worry about
Mm.
that. Especially if we recognize that we're, looking for the right words from this. But if we recognize that we are Brahman, self-awareness, nothing. Recognize that you're nothing. Inwardly recognize that.
Mm.
There's no problem. Even when it seems to be a problem, it's even not a problem. Because I think life can play anyway. Life is very amazing. I don't know, mysterious, magical. We don't know what it is. But like it can play even like as if it's something is a problem. Where really like inside it's not. Like sometimes I have issues coming up. Like I feel like just old things from the past, like a certain kind of energy would arise. And I just let it play through and I let it, like sometimes I might even be like kind of crying or something. Like I'm tuned into the energy and I'm crying and then there's different thoughts. And I know they're all nonsense. But I'm just kind of letting it. So it can seem like if someone was looking at me, they might seem like it's terrible. And even if someone asks me, I can talk about it. Because there's all different kind of levels. Like I could talk about it and say, yeah, feeling sad. But like I kind of know that it doesn't really matter. Like it's a deeper. So that's why I say like it's all working itself. It's working itself out
Mm.
by itself.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I'm really grateful that you shared that because it's sort of teaching with your being, which is
Mm,
just really, really cool.
yeah.
I missed the silent sitting. I saw you invited some people to come sit quietly with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was very nice.
Ah, good. Was it in person at your place or on Zoom or?
No, it was just on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't really do things in person. They could, but there was a few people from Ireland. There was actually like 2 or 3 people that technically could have been here, but people were just from all around.
Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
think for
maybe
you
we'll
it's
just,
very late time.
yeah, yeah. It's like if it's 10 a.m. your time, it's 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not for much longer. We're looking at April as
Hmm.
potential move date.
Oh yeah. You're thinking of moving to Portugal? Portugal and Germany or something?
Well, we're going to rent in Portugal, but there will
Hmm.
be some travel
Yeah.
around.
Wow, April's very soon. That's very exciting.
We're we've got a elaborate project, right?
Yeah.
Fix up the house, find renters, get Sophia situated, who
Oh well, I'm sure you
still
have lots of
still
things.
lives with us. Yeah. Um, Paint the house, decide what to take with us, get
Hmm.
rid of a lot of stuff. We're gonna
Yeah.
really lighten up,
Well,
not carrying a bunch of stuff around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a project.
yeah. Perhaps I'll come visit you in Portugal sometime. Portugal is very kind of easy to get to and likely. I know lots of people there.
Yeah, well, it'd be great to be a stop on your trip or to come to a group meeting somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think before that actually happens, we have time to finish Ribhu and see what's
Yeah.
next. Should we
Yeah.
look at the title for the next chapter?
Sure.
Chapter 37, maybe for next time?
This is like an ad. An ad for the next chapter.
Right, be sure to tune in. It's like
Yeah.
hockey night in Canada or something.
Yeah. Be sure to tune in for our next chapter. Abiding as the non-dual Brahman by the undivided supreme certitude. Are you surprised? It's going to be great. And it really is. Abiding as the non-dual Brahman by the undivided supreme certitude. It's going to be just as good as every previous chapter.
as the previous
Um,
36 chapters.
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you for your time and for sharing these verses. It's very pleasant. I really enjoy tuning into the words of Ribhu. Thank you. And I don't know who's watching these videos, but there's a very few people who watch them. There's usually about like 10 views or something. Maybe there's 10 people who listen.
I think the the biggest crowd is about 5 years out. So that's how you that's how you play it, right?
Is that how it is in 5 years' time? They'll be watching.
Yeah, I have a chance to get out of town, so they can't find me in person.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not looking for a fan base anyway. Be waiting for a long time if we were.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe more like 5 million years.
Oh,
Maybe in 5 million years, like everyone's going to be so into Ribhu. It's going to be like playing on the TV and everything. It's like everyone's just at like the verge of like, well, everyone is just ready. Everyone is totally ready then to like have the certitude that I am Brahmin. No more distractions. They've had enough of COVID by then. Like, after 5 million years, it's like that's enough. I'm not interested in the COVID virus anymore. I'm ready. I'm ready now to look within and see something real. Oh, it's hilarious.
you tickled yourself there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Although COVID is also Brahmin.
Ah,
We must remember.
that's right. That's right. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then.
Wish you a beautiful weekend.
Thank you. Till next time, love.
Till next time. Lots of love. Bye bye.
Bye.